Hey, what is up, everybody? Today on Iceberg TV, I want to give you guys my top 5 reasons why I think the backhand is superior to the forehand throw. Now, I'm sure a lot of you forehand players, that's going to be a triggering thing for you to hear. I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to tell you what you need to hear. The first reason why the backhand is a better throw, it's easier for most people to learn, and it's easy for most people to learn to do it well. The forehand, unless you come from a baseball background, there's a much higher risk for injury. It's harder to develop distance. And if you're not used to this sort of throwing motion, you don't have experience doing it, it's just going to be something that you're going to have to grind out for a really long time to actually get and become effective with. But when it comes to the backhand throw, it's very easy for most people to watch, a 15-minute YouTube video on how to do it, and they will generally be able to just figure it out. And then really just putting them in the right position and learning the timing, it's going to eventually go farther, go straighter, and they're going to get better a lot faster than the person who's forcing themselves to try and learn the forehand throw. The backhand throw is just more ergonomic, easier to learn, and easier to learn to do well for most people. The second key point why I think the backhand will always be a superior throw to the forehand is backhand has a much lower risk for injury. We very rarely see people doing serious damage to themselves doing a backhand throw. As long as your form is decent, it's going to be pretty hard to hurt yourself doing a backhand throw because the backhand throw utilizes your entire body. And that forehand throw, on the other side of things, really puts a lot more torque through the shoulder, the elbow, the wrist. And again, we can use all those same structures, but for most people, it's very hard to learn to throw a nice, smooth forehand. And a lot of people wind up using a lot more arm than they should. Again, putting you at a much higher risk of injury when learning to forehand versus when learning to backhand. So again, the backhand just utilizes your entire body a lot more efficiently than the forehand. The third reason why I think the backhand is better than the forehand, you can throw a much wider variety of discs with a lot more ease than with the forehand. The forehand throw creates a lot more off-axis torque, so torque not going in the desired direction, with your throw. That causes especially understable discs to be a lot more unpredictable, a lot more difficult to throw, and you have to work really hard to develop touch to be able to throw understable discs. The backhand throw tends to have a lot less off-axis torque, so you can get away with throwing your putters, your understable mid-ranges, and your understable fairway drivers a lot more easily. So right here, I have 2 discs that I pretty much cannot forehand, but I can very easily backhand them. We've got an AGL Douglas Fir here. It's a very understable putter. I can get an absolutely gorgeous flight with that disc with a backhand, but if I try to forehand that disc, what's going to happen is it's literally, even if I throw it on this much hyzer, it's just going to go like that and turn into a roller, because that particular type of disc, the understable putter, does not forehand very well because it does not handle off-axis torque very well. But when you backhand it, you can get those gorgeous late hyzer flips. And some of the most fun shots in disc golf are those sort of late flipping hyzer shots. And it's just so difficult to learn to do that with the forehand. But with the backhand, it's relatively easy. Again, 2 discs that I really could never forehand. I can throw them with relative ease with the backhand because the backhand favors those slower discs, those mid-ranges, and those understable fairway drivers a lot more than the forehand does. Now we're going to talk about the pros. This is going to be the 4th reason why I think the backhand is better. The proof is in the pudding here. We very rarely see forehand dominant players winning majors. Majors, so European Open, Worlds, Champions Cup, USDGC. These are the highest tier events in the sport of disc golf. Winning one of these events puts you on a pedestal where you're basically going to be locked in and taken care of for the rest of your career just by winning one of these tournaments one time. These are the highest standards of disc golf tournaments, and we very rarely see forehand dominant players win these events. Now, we did see Ricky Wysocki win a Worlds or 2 when he was a forehand dominant player. Forehand Ricky was a monster. You can't deny it. Now, we also have Big Jeremy Colling, very forehand dominant player. He won the USDGC. The last round got rained out. So, as Kanye said,
everybody wants to know what I would do if I didn't win. I guess we'll never know.
And then we had Papa Nate Sexton, the forehand god, winning USDGC as well. Again, Winthrop Gold is a very forehand-friendly track. And these are really the most notable wins by forehand players. Obviously, Ricky Wysocki coming away with the Worlds and some other huge wins. Then Papa Nate and Big Germ. But aside from that, especially in recent years, we've got very backhand-dominant players winning majors. We had Eagle winning the European Open, all backhand, because he hurt himself doing a forehand, couldn't throw any forehands, wound up needing surgery now. Then we've got James Conrad, no forehand to be seen out of that guy, wins USDGC, wins Worlds. Then we've got Chris Dickerson. He does have a good forehand, but he doesn't lean on it very often. Again, able to go out and win multiple majors, winning a Champions Cup, winning a USDGC. The proof is in the pudding, and the backhand being a more consistent and versatile throw puts these players that have mastered it in that highest tier where they can come out and win the most difficult tournaments to win out on the Disc Golf Pro Tour. So when you take a look at what types of players are actually going out and winning majors, it is the players that have mastered the backhand more so than have mastered the forehand. Same deal, Paul McBeth throws a very high percentage backhands. He does have a big power forehand, again, probably due to his baseball background, but it seems to be that the backhand throw, time and time again, seems to rise to the top when it comes to the majors. And again, don't even get me started on Isaac Robinson. That guy probably has one of the worst forehands on tour, but just can go out and win Worlds because, again, the backhand tends to be better than the forehand, especially at major events. The fifth and final reason why I think the backhand, again, edges out the forehand as the superior throwing technique is it is just simply more fun. I can grab any disc out of my hand, out of my bag, and throw a backhand with it. That same thing cannot be said with the forehand. About half the discs in my bag, I really can't even forehand them because they just don't have the off-axis torque resistance required for a forehand throw. And that doesn't mean it's a bad disc. It's just the backhand has less off-axis torque, and you can generate power with less effort, making it easier to throw, more consistent release angle, more consistent release point than the forehand. So at the end of the day, most of us are playing disc golf just for fun. We don't do it for a living. The most important thing is staying injury-free, having fun, developing your personal relationships, meeting new people. That's what disc golf is all about. And I think for most people, they will have more fun throwing backhands than forehands. Again, forehands having those slightly higher risk of injury. You have a lower skill ceiling overall. And at the end of the day, we all just want to have fun. So if you can increase your skill ceiling, beat your friends, and throw more fun shot shapes, that's going to be a win for most people at the end of the day. All right, a lot of you guys who are watching this video are just going to think, well, this guy must really suck at forehand to say all these bad things about the forehand throw. No, I'm actually a better forehand player than I am a backhand player, but I'm telling you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. Let's do one forehand just to show you guys that I'm able to forehand. And again, I think I have a pretty above average forehand. I mean, that was an absolute bomb. And my forehand is good, but the more I practice backhand and learn backhand, the more I fall in love with disc golf. And having that forehand to accompany a great backhand will help you be the best player that you can be. But if you do not have a good backhand to accompany that forehand, your skill ceiling is going to be so much lower than the guy who's got a really great backhand. And it's just a fact. We see it time and time again, year over year on the Disc Golf Pro Tour. We see the backhand guys rising to the top. We see the forehand guys just never quite getting it done. We see injuries. We see, performance issues. We see all kinds of problems with the forehand dominant players. Again, we got Papa Nate. We got Big Germ. We got whatever it was, 2013, 2014, Ricky Wysocki. When it comes to the forehand guys, they just aren't as good as they used to be. And as the Pro Tour becomes more competitive, we see more and more backhand guys rising to the top. This is not a coincidence. These are just the facts. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video. Comment your thoughts down below. I want to see some good debates going on. A lot of hot takes here. But yeah, anyway, I'll see you guys in the comments below. See you guys in the next video, and take care.